Hello, welcome back to the Michael Sisco Show. I am your host, Michael Sisco. Very excited to be back with you for another week. We have 2 episodes this week. Tonight, obviously, I'll be going over creation, the first day. So, just setting up. Let me just get that entropy chat set up real quick, and then we'll hop into that. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I am drinking the best coffee in the world, Abbott's Choice from Christ the Savior Monastery, Abbot Trefon's Monastery, which I still have the address for, as you can see, where my name would normally be. So make sure you get your coffee. Support Abbot Trefon. The locals there are apparently suffering from coffee purchasing hesitancy due to the vaccination status of the monks. The monks refuse to give in to the evil jab. So we have to pick up the slack and buy the coffee. I also got the soap, and the soap was pretty awesome. I've used it twice now, and gotta say, good soap. I like it better than, I don't know if I should say this. I used to get Holy Cross Hermitage soap all the time, and I really like their soap. But I like this soap better because it doesn't wear down as quickly. The Holy Cross Hermitage soap, it's like you shower with it twice and the whole bar is gone. It's like it just melts. But this Abbot Trefon soap is great. Entropy is up and running, so it is set up now. So if you want to, our goal for tonight is $100. And of course, I forgot to put my Cash App. I am still trying to get to a wedding in California. So I'll put that in the chat real fast. And then we're going to get started with some prayer, because tonight's topic is a lesson on orthodoxy. So it would only be appropriate to start with prayer. And so we'll hop right in. Let me find the proper prayers. Alrighty. O most good Lord, send down upon us the grace of thy Holy Spirit, who granteth gifts and strengtheneth the powers of our souls, so that by attending to the teaching given us, we may grow to the glory of thee, our Creator, to the comfort of our parents, and to the service of the Church in our native land. Amen. All right. So now this book, I wanted to do this, and this is going to be kind of an ongoing series. So I'll create a playlist. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Coming over from the Crucible debate. I heard it's a big night over there. I don't know if the debate's still going, but yeah. I guess I'm going up against the big Tristan Haggard and Destiny. They're debating over on the Crucible on the Great Reset, which looked like an interesting debate. But here I am. I'm doing this, and I've been reading Genesis, Creation, and Early Man, and I thought that since it's such a rare book, it's hard to come across, that it might be helpful. Do they really need it back next week, Brandon? Because I'm halfway done. But I can pick up if you're serious, I can pick up where I left off. Oh, you're joking. You're messing with me. So, and it actually wouldn't be that bad if I had to turn it in next week. Because it would kind of be bad. But Anyways, no more pranks, Brandon. No more pranks. But I wanted to go through this because it's hard to find the book for one. So I think it would, and even when I was Orthodox, when I first became Orthodox, I thought, hey, evolution, it's compatible with Orthodoxy. And I think a lot of people think like this. Brandon says, definitely joking. No one had rented the book in months, actually. Which, this book should be rented for, it should always be rented. It's one of those books that should be hard to find in the library to be checked out. But anyways, this was my mindset for years, probably, coming in to Orthodoxy, was that maybe there was room for evolutionary thought within the bounds of Orthodoxy. And I as I've dove into, well, what I've come to realize after some growth and some time in the church is that the holy tradition, how do we know what fits within the holy tradition of the church? And really what it comes down to is the mind of the church fathers. And so as I've dove into the church fathers and reading people like Father Seraphim Rose, who, in my opinion, of all contemporary, he's obviously reposed and is probably a saint. Of any Orthodox writer that I've read, Blessed Seraphim Rose, in my opinion, has the mind of the fathers that has adopted, what's the right word? What's the word I'm looking for? He has acquired the mind of the church fathers in a way that I just haven't encountered in anyone else alive. Well, he's not alive, but anyone else in contemporary Orthodoxy whose writings are readily available. And so I no longer believe in evolution. Yeah, that's the word for it. Fromina. And hello, David Markham. Good to see you here. Good to see you here again. And Ray, of course, you would actually, Father Blessed Seraphim Rose would 100% disagree with you. 100% disagrees with you. We have I don't know which spelling is correct, guys. Fromina. But anyways, the view of the church fathers is 100% not compatible with evolutionary theory, which, as it turns out, is really just a religious. It pretty much has all the characteristics of a religious way of thought as well. All of the leaps of faith that you have to take to believe it are pretty strong. To believe that micro changes can take us from being a single cell to a bird, or a monkey, or to whatever, to our final form, that is somehow possible, is pretty much absurd and requires a lot of faith to believe. And there are a lot of gaps within evolutionary theory that also require faith. And so it has underlying assumptions that are just incompatible with orthodoxy, and with the opinions of the church fathers and how they interpret the creation account. And so, with the help of Father Seraphim Rose, today we will just go over the first day, which you might not think there's much to it, but there is. There is. Hang on, since we had a few more people here, this is Abbot Trefon's Abbot Choice Coffee. So go to store.vashon monks. It's good. It really is good. Surprised me. And we will open up for calls like usual after I get through some of this. So the first day, we're just going to read the first day now in Genesis, which is Genesis 1 through 5. In the beginning, God made heaven and earth. The earth was invisible and unfinished, and darkness was over the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light. It was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day. The darkness he called night. And there was evening and morning one day. Now, let's skip over to this is in the New Testament, we get more significance out of this, especially just those three words, in the beginning. Because what do we learn about the beginning in the Gospel of John 1:1? We understand. Okay, so we understand that in the beginning was who? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life, the light of men. So Christ is very much like Father John Wyford said when he was on, that the Genesis account really is kind of a cryptic gospel. It's the crypto gospel. But let's read St. Ambrose comments on this. A beginning in a mystical sense is denoted by the statement, "I am the first and the last, the beginning and the end." In truth, he who is the beginning of all things by virtue of his divinity is also the end. Therefore, in this beginning, that is, in Christ, God created heaven and earth, because all things were made through him, and without him was made nothing that was made, which we just read that. So Christ was very much a part of the creation process. He was there from the beginning. And St. Basil, let us inquire how God speaks. Is it in our manner? Does he manifest his hidden thought by striking the air with the articulate movement of the voice? Surely it is fantastic to say that God needs such a roundabout way for the manifestation of his thoughts. Or is it not more in conformity with true religion to say that the divine will, joined with the first impulse of his intelligence, is the word of God, Christ? The scripture delineates him in detail in order that it may show that God wished the creation not only to be accomplished, but also to be brought to this birth through some co-worker. It could have related everything fully as it began. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Then he created light. Next, he created the firmament. But now, introducing God as commanding and speaking, it indicates silently him to whom he gives the command and to whom he speaks. This way of our speaking has been wisely and skillfully employed so as to rouse our mind to an inquiry of the person to whom the words are directed. And so we see Christ is the creator, as is stated by St. John. And what's going on? Frantics. But also, you'll notice the firmament. By the way, that's not there anymore. The firmament collapsed in the flood. So the very nature of modern physics and natural laws of today do not apply to this time period that we're reading in creation, because all of the scientific laws that govern our physical world today are a result and a consequence of the fall. JT says, "What?" Nah, it's true. We'll get into that when we get to when we cover the flood, which we will at some point. But the firmament over the earth was it just doesn't exist anymore. It was an actual change of the nature of the world. The world, it changed several times, which is why the lifespans changed as well, according to the fathers, according to the scriptures and the fathers. So the earth is different now than it was prior to the flood, and then it was different then as it was prior to the fall. Well, the size of the boat is, we'll get to that when we get to Noah, but it's actually, when you look at the size of the boat, there actually was enough to fit one of each kind. And also that would be applying, you're just making the same rationalist mistake that anybody that is made. You're assuming that the laws of physics that govern our lives now governed what happened at that time, which is not true, because the flood was the end of an epoch and was the changing of the nature. That's when our current geography was formed. It was a drastic change in the nature of Earth. So, but I do actually think that 2 of each animal fit into the boat or ship. So I don't see, obviously that's not millions of yeah. Really got him. So, all right, back to and on to the next line. God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. So St. Basil asks, how is it, if both the heavens and the earth were of equal honor, that the heavens were brought to perfection and the earth is still imperfect and unfinished? Or in short, what was the lack of preparation of the earth, and for what reason was it visible? Surely the perfect condition of the earth consists in its state of abundance, the budding of all sorts of plants, the putting forth of the lofty trees, both fruitful and barren, the freshness and fragrance of flowers, and whatever things appeared on the earth a little later by the command of God to adorn their mother. Since as yet there was nothing of this, the scripture reasonably spoke of it as incomplete. We might say the same also about the heavens, that they were not yet brought to perfection themselves, nor had they received their proper adornment, since they were not yet lighted around by the moon, nor the sun, nor crowned by the chairs of the stars, by the choirs of the stars. For these things had not yet been made, therefore you will not err from the truth if you say that the heavens also were incomplete. And St. Ambrose speaks of this work as the first day, as the foundation of the world. The good architect lays the foundation first, and afterwards, when the foundation has been laid, plots the various parts of the building, one after the other, and then adds thereto the ornamentation. Why did not God grant to the elements at the same time as they arose from their appropriate adornments, as if he at the moment of creation were unable to cause the heavens immediately to gleam with studded stars, and the earth to be clothed with flowers and fruit? That could very well have happened, yet Scripture points out that things were first created and afterwards put in order, lest it be supposed that they were not actually created and that they had no beginning, just as if the nature of things had been there, as it were, generated from the beginning, and did not appear to be something added afterwards. St. Ephrem says, he said, this desiring to show that emptiness preceded the nature of things. There was then only the earth, and there was nothing besides it. And this part, this is pretty contradictory to evolutionary theory. It's like backwards. So there's zero compatibility. Yeah, Doorman. What is impossible with man is possible with God. We're projecting with the skepticism. We're oftentimes just projecting the reality of life as a consequence of the fall onto something that we can't even imagine. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Let's read what Father Seraphim Rose has to say. It says, the waters of the deep were created together with the earth and completely submerged the earth. This is the cause of its unfinished appearance. The fathers assumed there was a certain light created with the heavens, since the heavens are the region of light. But if so, the clouds covering the earth prevented its reaching the earth. St. Ephrem writes, if everything created, whether its creation is mentioned or not, was created in 6 days, then the clouds were created on the first day, for everything had to be created into the first in 6 days. Doorman says, yo, when do Adam transforms from monkey to man? So, and as Father Seraphim Rose points out here, this is another indication that the work of the 6 days is distinct from the continuous creative work of God after that, and that we cannot understand it by projecting back from our present experience. Wow, there's your answer. And St. Ambrose, some people will say that this darkness is an allegorical reference to evil. St. Ambrose specifically rejects that. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. It's in this. David Markham says, macroevolution is incorrect, but microevolution is an observable fact. Yeah, that's not really part of evolutionary theory, though. It's not the evolutionist. As far as evolutionism and explaining the origins of the Earth, and no species is created from a series of no animal, no species that we observe today became that way, became what it is now from microevolutions over a longer period of time. Like a bird didn't get bones for wings and then develop the wings later. What's going on? Dawn J1. Doorman 360 says evolution is the transmutation from one creature into another animal. Yeah, that's just be right back, gonna evolve into an elephant. Yeah. Anyways, I got distracted. 1, 2. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. Here we see the activity of the third person of the Holy Trinity in creation. St. Ambrose writes, "There was still to come the plenitude of the operation in the Spirit, as it is written, by the word of the Lord the heavens were established, and all the power of them by the Spirit of his mouth. The Spirit fittingly moved over the earth, destined to bear fruit, because by the aid of the Spirit it held the seeds of new birth, which were to germinate according to the words of the prophet, 'Send forth thy Spirit, and they shall be created, and thou shalt renew the face of the earth.'" All right, so it apparently was not a good debate over there, so maybe I won't go back and watch. St. Ephraim, the Syrian, says, "The Holy Spirit warmed the waters and made them fertile and capable of birth, like a bird when it sits with its outstretched wings on its eggs, and by its warmth gives them warmth and produces fertility in them." The same Holy Spirit represented for us then an image of the Holy Baptism, in which by his moving over the waters, he gives birth to the children of God. And the Holy Spirit also participated in the other days of creation. The book of Job speaks of the divine Spirit who hath made me. That's Job 33:4. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. It's interesting. God created light before he created the sun. So St. Ambrose notes, "God is the author of light, and the place and cause of darkness is the world. But the good author uttered the word light, so that he might reveal the world by infusing brightness therein, and thus make its aspect beautiful. Suddenly then the air became bright, and darkness shrank in terror from the brilliance of the novel brightness. The brilliance of the light which suddenly permeated the whole universe overwhelmed the darkness, and as it were plunged it into the abyss." Doorman 360 says, "Day one must have been very trippy to witness." And St. Ephraim the Syrian, in harmony with the other fathers, tells us that this light had nothing to do with the sun, which was created only on the fourth day. The light which appeared on earth was like ether, a bright cloud, or a rising sun, or the pillar that illumined the Hebrew people in the desert. In any case, the light could not disperse the darkness that embraced everything if it had not extended everywhere, either its substance or its rays, like the rising sun. The original light was shed everywhere and was not enclosed in a single definite place. It dispersed the darkness without having any movement. Its whole movement consisted in its appearance and disappearance. After its sudden disappearance, there came the dominion of night, and with its appearance, this dominion ended. Thus the light produced also the 3 following days. It aided the conception and bringing forth of everything that the earth was to produce on the 3rd day. As for the sun, when it was established in the firmament, it was to bring to maturity what had already been produced with the aid of the original light. Father Martin at All Merciful Savior Monastery says the orders are flooding in, and that is awesome to hear. I kind of knew. I suspected that was happening because the day after somebody that I communicate with, the day after I did my initial, I just blasted it everywhere for everyone to get their coffee. The next day they messed up her name and sent an apology letter stating that they were overwhelmed with orders. So I'm very happy to hear that people are actually supporting, and I'm sure it's not just because of me. I'm sure it's just because of what happened. So Warrior of Christ said, Michael reading the Old Testament in one sitting challenge? No. I'm actually reading. So what we're doing, Vrantix and Warrior of Christ, is basically we're going over the first day of creation and what St. Ephrem, St. Ambrose, St. Basil the Great, and Blessed Seraphim Rose have to say about it. And so it's out of this book, Genesis, Creation, and Early Man. And I'm doing it because this book is very rare and hard to find. So I thought that it would be beneficial to do. And we're actually almost done going over the first day of creation. So, and Dawn says, I've had nearly every flavor of their coffee. I just need to pick up Christmas blend ASAP. Yeah, I need to try. I want to try every flavor, but I'm impressed with Abbott's Choice. I'm impressed. It's a French roast. But anyways, on to verse 4, and God saw that the light was good. St. Ambrose says, God, as the judge of the whole work, foreseeing what is going to happen as something completed, commends that part of his work, which is still in its initial stages, being already cognizant of its termination. He praises each individual part as befitting what is to come. Savas says, would you believe me if I told you that Orthodox seminary professors teach everything opposite of what that book teaches and passing it off as Orthodox? Yeah, I would believe that. Which is why our priests should go to Holy Trinity in Jordanville. No, it's not shocking because that's when it's just modernism. So nobody teaches the patristics anymore, except for they put their faith in academics, not in the fathers of our church, which is how we discern the church tradition, the holy tradition. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. St. Basil comments, God separated the light from the darkness. That is, God made their natures incapable of mixing and in opposition one to the other. For he divided and separated them with a very great distinction between them. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Now henceforth, after the creation of the sun, it is day when the air is illuminated by the sun, shining on a hemisphere above the earth. And night is the darkness of the earth when the sun is hidden. Yet it was not at that time according to solar motion, but it was when the first created light was diffused and again drawn in according to the measure ordained by God. That day came and night succeeded. Just a comment on Savas's post there. You know, it's just symptomatic of our arrogance. That we think that because it's really progressivism. It's progressivism. And it's this idea that we know more than our ancestors did. Or surely we know more than these old cranks that we call church fathers. Surely we know better than they do. It's just arrogance. It's arrogance. And it's delusional because, frankly, we don't know better than they did. And it's absurd to think that we would. To think that we can interpret the gospel and the teachings of Christ in a more authentic way 2,000 years later by projecting our modern morality and norms onto it, rather than trusting in the first generation of Christians, the apostles and the apostles' spiritual children, which most of these, we have the writings of St. Ignatius, who was a disciple of St. John the Apostle. The Apostle John was alive while some of these people were alive. And so we think that we can interpret, that we can just project our own interpretation onto the church in the Holy Tradition and usurp it, really, and do a better job of that than our forefathers from the 1st century, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th century of the church. It's just arrogant, and it's prideful, and it's disgusting, and shame on our seminaries. Honestly, it's and one litmus test that I like to do. Now I like to ask a priest what they think of Father Seraphim Rose. It's a good litmus test. It really is, and I've never seen it wrong. There's one priest that turned out to be based, who I asked that question to, that he was fresh out of seminary and and he was a little, whoa, he's controversial, but his opinion's different now. It's a little different now. He's grown up, but yeah, the creation account is not symbolic at all. It is an actual historical account according to the Church Fathers. And so, unfortunately, what we have to do, we just have to destroy these seminaries. In Minecraft. I don't mean violently. We have to somehow we have to send our priests and our children to, not our children, but our young men have to go to seminaries that preach the truth, and according to the tradition of the Patristic tradition. And the only place I know that does that in America is Holy Trinity in Jordanville. It's the only place I would trust to send somebody off to seminary. Of course, you can go to seminary, deal with the BS, and, just be a base priest. But I'm sure if I went to, if you go to St. Vladimir's and you're grounded in patristics, you can ignore the stupid, I guess. But, part of me thinks we shouldn't even have seminary. What is it? It's just modeling. It's just modeled off of Western. It's just a Western model. What's the point? Why do we have to go through this formalized training? It should honestly, it should be more like an apprenticeship. It should be our priest should just be trained by another priest, and it should be like that. It shouldn't be this formal crap, because what happens with the seminaries is you end up getting the donation model. You get the donations, you have the same entryism problem in these institutions. They're going to get leftist entryism. They're going to get influenced by outside influences that aren't Orthodox. Luke Kindrat is going to Holy Trinity in Jordanville, and that is a very based place. It's a good pair. It's a good seminary. It's attached to a monastery. If we're gonna have monasteries, seminaries, they have to be attached to a monastery, in my opinion. But I don't even like. It's stupid. I don't like seminaries. I don't like the idea of seminary. I think that our priests should be apprentices to another priest. And that's just the way I think it should be done. Yeah. And I don't think there really is an Eastern model for seminary. So it's very much a Western phenomenon. Russia did have some seminaries, but they picked that up after the, probably during the Peter I period, when there was a lot of Western influence in Russia. But even there, it was kind of a hereditary thing. You were born into a priestly family. Like that was your, they kind of had a system like that where it was a familial thing. But anyways, and there was evening and there was morning one day. St. Basil continues. Evening, then, is a common boundary line of day and night. And similarly, morning is the part of night bordering on day. This is St. Basil, by the way. In order, therefore, to give the prerogative of prior generation to the day, Moses mentioned first the limit of the day, and then that of the night, as night followed the day. The condition of the world before the creation of light was not light, but darkness. That which was opposed to the day was named night. Wherefore it received its name later than the day did. Why did he say one and not first? It is more consistent for him who intends to introduce a second and a third and a fourth day to call the one which began the series first. But he said one because he was defining the measure of day and night. Rantix says, does Michael have a Discord server? No, I hate Discord. But I do have a Telegram chat, which is, if you find my channel, t.me/themichaelsisco, if you click on the comment, you can find your way into my chat from there. Yeah, don't forget to super chat, guys. Super chat. $100 is the goal tonight. But yeah, I actually want to read Father Seraphim Rose's comments here. This first day of creation, no matter how long one might guess it to be, is the beginning of the cycle of 7 days, each with its day and night, which continues up to our own days. Those rationalist commentators who see in the 7 days and the fact that evening precedes morning merely a projection backwards of later Jewish customs show themselves totally out of harmony with the patristic way of viewing these things, and they are therefore unable to answer the question, where and why did the Jews derive these customs? In the patristic view, the revealed text can and does give the literal origins of the world and the reasons for the Jewish customs, which are now Christian, for our church also begins with Vespers, the evening service. Our church day begins with the Vespers evening service. And so, hey, we're pretty much done with the first day, but I do want to skip towards the end. There's some more commentary I want to read. Yeah, this last little part here. There is one question concerning the first day. Where does the creation of the world of angels fit into it? Moses describes the creation only of the visible world. When was the invisible world of spiritual beings created? Some fathers think that they are included in the creation of heaven. Others are not so specific, but know that they were also created in the beginning. St. Basil teaches, in fact, there did exist something, as it seems, even before the world, which our mind can attain by contemplation, but which has been left uninvestigated because it is not adapted to those who are beginners and as yet infants in understanding. This was a certain condition older than the birth of the world and proper to the supramundane powers, one beyond time, everlasting, without beginning or end. In it, the creator and producer of all things perfected the works of his art. A spiritual light befitting the blessedness of those who love the Lord, rational and invisible natures, and the whole orderly arrangement of spiritual creatures which surpass our understanding, and of which it is impossible even to discover the names. These fill completely the essence of the invisible world. Similarly, St. Ambrose writes, the angels' dominions and powers, although they began to exist at some time, were already in existence when the world was created. For all things were created things, visible and things invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things, we are told, have been created through him and unto him. Colossians 1:16. Indeed, God said to Job, when the stars were made, all my angels praised me with a loud voice. Job 38:7. We will see on the sixth day, later, how Adam was tempted by Satan, and therefore we know that the battle of the proud angels in heaven, as described in the Apocalypse, has already been fought before then, and Satan has already fallen like lightning, as we read in Luke 10:18. I thought that was an interesting little bit to get through. So anyways, now that everyone's here, don't forget to go to store.vashionmonks.com and get your coffee. I'm not going to stop pushing this. The coffee is awesome, and the soap is too. Anyways, I am going to open up for calls. Let me drop that link down. We can, if anybody has any questions for me, I'll do my best to answer. We can talk about anything. You can ask about this subject. Yeah. Oh, maybe I should talk about my weekend. I had a good wash your bodies with the greatest soaps around at Fashion Monks. It is good soap, man. Like, seriously. I like it. But anyways, feel free to hop in if you want. I had a fun weekend. Totally kind of impromptu, but Nick Fuentes had his rally last Saturday, the anti-mandatory vaccine rally in Springfield. I didn't think I was gonna be able to go. I didn't want to drive out there alone, but I was like, what the heck? I know Ethan Routh is driving out from Richmond, so let me shoot him a message and see if he could, by chance, pick me up. And, well, it turns out he didn't want to go by himself either. So he's like, yeah, man, I can pick you up in Charleston at about 4 a.m. And that's a 4-hour drive for me. So I left my house at midnight. Sure enough, he picks me up. Actually, it turned out to be around 5 a.m. And we drove. He was live streaming the whole thing. So I drove the rest of the way, about 7 hours, to Springfield, Illinois, in his car. And we got to see the rally out there. It was good to see Nick again. Nick Fuentes, Beardson, Yoba. I got to see the confrontation with Culture War Criminal. Yeah, felt a little bad for him, honestly. But it was amusing anyways. But it was a good trip. I set the record for the longest guest appearance on the Kill Stream. And then on the way back, well, after that, we drove 5 more hours to where Ethan wanted to stay, which just so happened to be a casino, Caesars in Indiana. So that was interesting. But I love Ethan. I love Ethan Ralph, man. He's just such a I mean, we gotta get him. Gotta get him on Team Orthodox. We gotta get him to repent. Gotta get him on our side. But no, I love. It was fun hanging out with Ethan. Of course, I had steaks that were way too much. We went to the steakhouse. Not a good idea. I mean, the steaks were good, but I'm poor now. Oh, hey, Vrantix, thank you for the $10 over there on Entropy. It says, keep up the good work. God bless. I appreciate that. Thank you. CWC, his name is Culture War Criminal. Yeah. Apparently, this was quite the bust. Everybody's trashing on the Tristan debate is so exhausting. I'm here now. Can't believe you managed 30 more minutes of that nonsense. Yeah. Well, you all should have just came on my stream to begin with. Now you have to pay me reparations. And you have to pay reparations and send me lots of super chats. Hey, 90 more dollars. 90 more for the night. Let's go. Contribute to the Michael Sisco show. But hey, is any Michael going we was now? Yeah, you were wrong. You were wrong. You committed a great sin by going on that other channel instead of mine. You see, I post my stream times in the beginning of the week. They didn't have to schedule their streams for when I'm streaming, okay? Dr. Klaus said, yeah, both of them seem coked out. Not shocking, especially with Destiny, man.
Hey.
What's up, Doorman? You messed up my my green screen, bro.
Doing whatever I can to help out. You know, on
It's like a StreamYard glitch, man. What's going on, bro?
Well, I wanted to run this past you. I got my hands on this document, you see. A listing of all these Orthodox, it's still in the works, but a listing of all these Orthodox locations, all where the monasteries are, the towns that they're in, the jurisdictions, websites, and here's where I want to run this past you. I'm trying to like categorize like the cost of living, the job market, the tax rate, just to make it like a nice template so people can find out if they want to run and dodge their next lockdown, or if they want to get out of the 10 worst cities to live in the United States at the moment, where they can relocate to if possible. I wanted to see if you were at all interested in like throwing a helping hand towards that project. I mean, right now I'm swamped with work, but it's something I'm working on, and I just figured if that caught your interest at all.
Wait, so you want basically you want to like create this like a guide of how to avoid?
Well, it's just a collection of like of let's say hey, here are the monasteries, here are the locations, and then there's things like cost of living per estate, taxes, job market, right? I have an Excel sheet with all this stuff like partially filled out, right? But the thing is, I'm a guy who's never lived outside of Jersey. I can look up what the cost of living is in, for example. I'll give you a fun little statistic out of this thing, right? Let's see. So out of all the monasteries, right? The one in the most expensive town that I've come across is the one in New York, Long Island. What's this guy called? Saint Dionysius the Areopagite in Roquefort. That thing has that town, St. James, has a cost of living of 140.8, which is like that's way above everything else on this list. So like I have that recorded down, like to give you an example. So I want to make a nice database. Like, hey, you want to move? Do you stink at moving? Because maybe Gabe wants to move too, but he stinks at moving. He doesn't know how to move. I moved when I moved out of like my last place. It's like I went from one town to the next into one guy's room to another guy's room. It's like it doesn't who hooked me up with this room? My grandpa. My grandpa lived in this room before I did. So I know nothing about faraway places. It's like, oh, I want to move to Arizona. Have you been to Arizona? No. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll just go on Zwillow and I say, oh, I want to buy that one. Oh, you have to get there. Oh, how do I get there? No, the getting there is that's a little too much. But like everything else is like, hey, cost of living, yada yada, job market, and even if you can just throw a few links, hey, I'm a complete retard. How do I move out of a place? Well, here's a quick guide. It's just that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on helping out with a project like that?
I bet that I could find people to help with that. Honestly,
Oh,
I could get volunteers. 'Cause I obviously can't do it with all I have going on. But
of course.
I do have a. Are you in my chat?
On your Telegram?
The community initiative chat on Telegram?
No, not that. If that's a special chat, that's private. No, I'm on your
Oh
public
yeah,
chat.
I'll have to get you in there. Yeah, it's a But yeah, I think we can probably get some help for that. It sounds like a good idea.
I sent. I know you interviewed her recently. A devotional heart. You know, she expressed interest in moving. I caught her saying that in somebody else's Telegram like a while ago, and I sent her basically a early template version of this that I cleaned up, but I got from a friend who recently relocated from Jersey to Arizona herself, just like yesterday. You know, but I can't reproduce her method because one, she actually went there, and two, she moved in with somebody. So the whole like, oh, I gotta find a place by my no. Like it takes off like half of the work if you just move in with someone who's already established, you know. So look at that. So it's so I sent that to her as a like, hey, you're looking for a place to move, and I just figured, what if I really spruce this up to make it like, you know, it's useful to everybody, you know, including myself.
Yeah, well, it seems like there are certain key. So, obviously, Father Deacon Aeneas and I want everyone to either go to Montana or West Virginia, but there does seem to be some organic areas that seem to be options that are becoming popular options. One I think is Mississippi. West Virginia is still kind of, I'm not leaving West Virginia. There's a good community actually in Virginia, but I think that's kind of dumb because of the government there. But Arizona, the monastery near the monasteries in Arizona, it's becoming one. And then, of course, we have Montana. So I think it's kind of like Montana, West Virginia, Mississippi, and Arizona are kind of becoming the hot spots. So maybe
we could even like specialize it and close it down to particular venues and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because we want to kind of funnel people. If we really want to create like communities, well, we got to kind of funnel people into certain areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you give them too many options, then it's like, well.
And then we can branch. You can like make side projects. Like one instance, for example, I'm interested in monastic life, right? We were just talking about Jordanville. Ideally, I like to go to Jordanville, but they're full. Like, and I don't know about the monastic side, but in the seminarian side, because two of my buddies are up there right now.
What about
three?
What about Saint Demetrios?
Saint Demetrios.
That's Metropolitan Jonah is the abbot.
He's an option for me. So I'm definitely interested in that. I think he's a good choice. But my interest in there. Let me see. I said two buddies. I have three buddies up there. Two parishioners. Two parishioners who are seminarians, and one who became a monast, who's in monastic novice at the moment. And so obviously, you got guys like Father Theodore there. You got visitors like Roosh, like fantastic people.
Yeah, but if you go become a monk, who's gonna call in be a caller? Come on, man. You're a steady caller. You can't leave. Well, you're like Dingo on the kill stream. You're the reliable call-in.
Is that the guy who they call what is it? The guy who they always call Butters? It's like, oh, you're Butters.
No. There's Butters is somebody else, but
he's fantastic. I love that guy. No, the call-in crew. Yeah, shout out to the Ralph retort. In the kill stream, good people, good folks. Ralph needs to become Orthodox sooner rather than later. He'd be a powerful force.
He did promise me. I'm doing another anti-vaccine rally in about a month and a half. He's like, I'll go to church when I'll go to your rally and I'll go. I was like, all right.
That's gonna be like catching a Karamazov and turning him Orthodox. He's gonna be unstoppable.
I tried to go to do it this weekend, but we both had so little. We didn't sleep the night before, and so I had the idea that I would go to church. And I didn't wake up. I slept like 12 hours. Well, I mean, I just I thought I would be Superman, and But it turned out I slept 2 nights worth of sleep in one night to make up for the night before. But
it happens. But yeah, I think I can frame it this way. If I can get like some kind of presentation set up or contribute, however, just even as the idea, because I've never heard anyone make this idea before. Hey, here are the communities. Here's what's being offered. Here are points of contact. That's a big one. Being able to have eyes on the ground to give you a report what's going on. Super important to that kind of thing. And it just helps funnel people in, because it just instead of just saying, dude, come over to X, Y, and Z, it's just like, well, yeah, but like, I don't know how to move. How do I do this? Or, oh, I'm 1,000 miles away. Can you help me out here? So having that kind of landing platform, you can even get creative and be like, have a little link in the new patristic faith site so maybe he might monopolize Montanica, but like at least that's something that can be followed up with. And just so you know, like I know there's a road corps parish over in Arizona where the priest shamelessly puts a prepper section on there. Like you can have fun with your own websites that I've seen that are people who are Orthodox, and I think the way he introduces it is great. It's just a segment that says "Are you prepared?" and then you click on it, and he has all this prepper stuff set up. So you can do all type of things with this kind of initiative, and I think launching Patristic faith, we can at least set up something for Montana, and then we can reproduce that, putting on different platforms. So yeah, add me to your platform thingamabob. I think you just sent me a link.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'd like maybe well, how much? Yeah, I think that we can. I think I'd like to at least be involved in guiding like the places that we include in it.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and dump the Excel file I'm working on in there, and then people can just say this is garbage or this is good, and then they can just go from there.
You're in the private chat here. Let me send you just add me on there real quick. Let me put my email in there.
Still loading up.
Here, you can share it with me, and then there we go.
Okie dokie. I'm all discombobulated at the moment. So let's see here.
That's all good. It's all good. You know what I actually ended up doing?
What's that?
Sunday? Ethan Routh got me watching Normie Ball, sports ball all day long. Ball.
And all day activity.
All day. We just watched because he was betting on the games. So, you know. Of course, I got him to bet on the. I made him money. I made him bet on the Ravens. I was like, hey, I'm an old Raven fan. So if you're going to make me watch football again, I'm ending my boycott for you, Ethan, for you. So if you're going to bet, you got to bet on the Ravens. Okay. And he won. They covered the spread.
That's good, man.
I think there was even one with not that we're endorsing betting here, but I do think sports betting is a little different than like slot machines, because it's at least there's some like intelligent like thought processy that goes into making a decision behind it. It's kind of like stocks, but you know, more fun.
Here you go. I'm just gonna drop it to your personal thingamabob here.
Okay.
It said it failed and I haven't even loaded yet.
Oh, hey, David Markham, thank you for the $20 over on, was that on YouTube or is that, oh, that's on YouTube. If everyone does this, Mike will more than make his goal. Come on, man. Yeah, that's true. If everybody sends $20, I would make a lot of money if all of you sent $20. I appreciate it, David. Thank you, sir. It was good to see you briefly last, what was it? The week before last, a couple of weeks ago. So we got this unfortunate circumstances, but it's good to see you. I actually saw him at the funeral from a couple of weeks ago. So
here we go.
Hey, Doorman, you're gonna have to be here. Are you gonna be watching tomorrow night? Tomorrow night is the show. Tomorrow night, this is gonna be the place to be on the internet. We're doing an award, Ancient Faith Awards show. We're celebrating inclusivity tomorrow, and I have a special hat I'm gonna be wearing, and we're going to have a different background. It's going to be a very inclusive background.
I do want to, if we're talking about ecumenist organizations here, I do want to do a special shout out to English Pen blog, who recently took a nice swing at Theora TV, who was slandering Saint Paisios. You definitely want to check out that blog and that blog post. I can definitely share it with you guys if you want, but Theora TV was I'm not going to even repeat what they were saying. They were just saying some nonsense about basically Paisios being influenced by Protestants of all things. You know, Paisios is a holy mountain, Man Athos, and here he is learning from Protestant magazines. Yes, that's how our saints work. You got it, man. That's how we get our eschatology from. The Orthodox get their eschatology from Protestants. Okay, pal.
I have a very special award for Father Andrew Stephen Damick tomorrow.
Oh.
Very special award. We're actually going to mail these certificates to them. It's going to be great.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We're going to print them out. We're going to mail everybody their award from the Michael Sisco show. We might even do a congratulatory phone call live on air.
Can you even get through the lines?
I don't know. If somebody wants to send me Father Andrew's cell phone number,
that'd be funny.
I would appreciate it. If somebody has it, I would. You
still got you blocked, huh?
I'm blocked on every platform that I know of.
Hey, it should be considered an honor in that case, you know. I wonder if he even has like Jay blocked. It'd be funny if he didn't.
I think he did. I would assume so. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think it's a good initiative. I think it deserves at least one an extra beating and have some fun at it. And it's like highlighting the ecumenism elements of it is highly important. Like it's one thing to, let's say, if it was someone being a meanie pants and saying things that were meanie, but
hey, Doorman, tomorrow night we're only celebrating, okay? We're only celebrating. We're celebrating the Skittles. We're celebrating the inclusivity. We're celebrating women and all the female contributors of Ancient Faith Radio.
The Skittles, man.
Let me just say, we really love women. We love women, and we certainly think that women should be all over the airwaves, especially on Ancient Faith. Because listen, nobody has contributed more to Orthodoxy than women, okay? Women. We love women. We love women. And tomorrow we're going to highlight and celebrate a lot of women from Ancient Faith Radio. It's going to be amazing. And I don't know, people who have been watching the show for a long time might remember Nick Leonard. He's coming back. He's coming back tomorrow to help with the show. He's actually going to be the one presenting the awards and the bio and the background on these amazing warriors for social justice and women and supporters of women. We respect women. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Rantix says, bruh, moment. Hey, look, Rantix. We support women on this show, okay, man? We want women in the orthosphere. And we value their input. It's going to be great. Some of these jokes I wanted to make last week but I couldn't. I had to be nice.
Well,
you're gonna have to award me the Woman Respecter Award tomorrow.
What's the opposite of misogynist?
Cuck. JK.
Oh
Dave.
man. Oh man. That was I walked right into that.
Went to St. Herman's this Sunday. You could guess why Father Joshua wasn't there. And well, I thought it was best to excuse myself from the usual congregation. Okay, so Father Andrew Stephen Damick actually was filling in at his parish, which I wish he would have actually went because it was funny. I know some people that approached him and had some little slightly confrontational conversations that seemed to have further convinced them of what we were saying. So, yeah. Father Andrew, he's but you know what? We love Father Andrew, Team Father Andrew, and we're gonna celebrate him tomorrow, and we're gonna give him an award. So it's gonna be great. He also makes the best facial expressions of any priest. Yeah, the Orthodoxy Awards.
That is an amazing name. You need to steal it. Take it.
Nah, well, I want to have Ancient Faith Radio in the title because
I like the Ancient Faith Radio Orthodoxy Awards.
I like to show their. I like to steal their search things on the. Like I think the video we did is like the second search result for Ancient Faith Radio.
Yo, John Pro's in the chat. What's going on, John Pro?
What's up, John Pro? You want to call in, John Pro? We haven't had you on the show.
I think that's a good guess. I have never seen anybody more dedicated than cataloging the COVID stuff than like John Pro. There's times where I had to take breaks from Telegram just because his stream of this news is just so addicting. So check him out on Telegram if you can, guys.
David says he didn't go because he had to guard his soul from temptation. Well, I thought about going, and I was talked out of it. And it was actually good that I didn't, because then I had that whole adventure with Ethan Ralph, and you know, so it was a good time. David says, I don't think I could have restrained myself. Well, imagine if I went. Can you imagine that? I did say, though, I did tell Father Andrew that I would take a visit to Emmaus, Pennsylvania, and that I would visit his parish. So at some point I have to do that. I have to do it because I said I would. And when I say I'll do something, I just have to do it. But I don't think maybe it wasn't good to do that weekend. Immediately fresh off of the, with everything happening, fresh off getting blocked from everything, and in the aftermath of that video, maybe I should give it some time so that we can prolong the torture.
On the topic of moving, Michael, I do want to bring this list to your attention. Speaking of things I got from John Proby's chat, he recently, someone in his chat recently published, grabbed the list of these Rockefeller cities. I forget what these are called. These 10 Rockefeller cities in the United States, and they pointed out like these are the places that set up vax mandates first and foremost. So I do want to send that list over to you just so you can like push it far and wide, because like a lot of people aren't really keen on moving. It's not super fun to do, but if you live in one of these 10 cities, you should really get out. Obviously, LA, New York City, San Francisco, they're on that list. Oakland, there's like 5 cities from California on this list. Huh. I got the link. I'm gonna share it with you.
Okay. Copy. Send it to my email. The one that I sent you already. It's just easier for me to not lose it. Huh. Shane Moyers.
Here you go. You got it. what is it, 33 resilient cities and mounts by the Rockefeller Foundation. That's what the blog is called. And a whole bunch of places. And the list from North America is Alameda, California, Berkeley, California, Boulder, Colorado. Isn't that like a mob city? El Paso, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Mexico City in Mexico. Oh yeah, I guess that's it. New Orleans in LA, New York City in New York, Norfolk in Virginia, Oakland in California, and San Francisco in California. If you live in one of those cities, you want to get out. Those are going to be like ground zero for the smart cities, and smart cities are going to be very fancy prisons.
Who didn't already know that though?
Yeah, but it's pretty explicit when the Rockefeller say we own these cities. Like, you know, it's like
telling people to get out of those cities.
When I saw that, it gets kind of, it's like, hey, it's like, this is for the slow people. I know you guys are a little extra on the slow side, but here is your confirmation. Move out.
It's kind of annoying, honestly, that for the last like a year we've been screeching, sounding the alarm on all of this stuff, especially the vaccine stuff, the passport, like for so long, and then nobody wants to listen until it's like too late. And it's like, oh man, oh no, what do I do? I'm gonna lose my job. Like, well, you could have moved to West Virginia when I told you to, dumbass. So, you know.
What can you do? Better late than never, I say.
It's true. It's true, but yeah, nobody else is calling in today, man. Everybody's still watching that dumb debate over there on that other channel. But I don't even want to promote the other channel because I'm just kidding. No bad blood yet. But I love him. I love America first. That's all I'm gonna say. I love my boy Nicky Fuentes. Okay, I saw Nick again. He gave me a big old hug. I'm like, what's up, Nick? Good to see you again. And he goes in for the hug. I'm like surprised. I'm like, wow, man. Wow, bro, real bro status now, huh? I'm getting a hug. You
know, the host of that show has recently become Orthodox. And I think on an Orthodox level, we do have
he's not a catechumen yet. And I like Andrew, and I do hope that he comes around, that he follows through and becomes Orthodox. And I think he knows, you know, I don't want to say anything. I talked to him.
He always says good things about Nick, even though he disagrees with the overall strategy. He's always complimenting Nick, so I don't think it's anything personal.
I mean, is it my only thing is, and I've said this criticism privately to them, sort of, I guess. It's just like, you know, drama, like whatever. I don't want to talk about it. I like them. I like base homeschool mom. I like Big Papa Fascist. It's just I just get worn out from all the drama. Does that make any sense?
I get what you're saying. It's best to stay out of it. I think they can handle their ideas how they want to handle their ideas.
Just like stop fighting with everybody. Like, calm the hell down. That's my take. Calm the hell down.
We got to look at it like how the jurisdictions interact with each other in Orthodoxy. You know, some people are friendly with others. Other guys are enemies.
Sup, Pablos? What's going on, man? Yeah, I just don't want to get dragged into any of the drama, and then I don't like seeing my friends get, constantly poo-pooed on, which he doesn't do that, you know. But whatever. I'm just tired of all the drama.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't want to be a part of it.
No need. You got your own program going on here. Just one thing that I learned a lot from Jay. If you remember the blood sports era, when Jay was floating around the blood sports era, those were fun times. And he would point out, like, he's like, hey, look, like as long as I focus on quality content, like, you know, you can get rises in audiences through drama, but you're not going to sustain an audience long term. And I got to tell you, there's certain material that Jay has put out where the drama has seeped in, and then like a year or two afterwards, I go back to that video, and I'm just like it's like, why is this here? Why is this drama here? Because it's already outdated. Like for example, the stuff that led to the Kurgan. Now the Kurgan debate was good; it was worth it. But it is a shame that, you know, like you're listening to his Bonson review, and then there's like a half hour he's going off on the Kurgan, you know, like so it is a symbol that like there is a datedness to the content of drama that you don't want to make it into your mainstay. And I think what you had going on here with Father Seraphim Rose's book is a good it's a good deal you got going on.
Yeah, that's good. It was you know, I think it's a good, and it's gonna be on a playlist. I'm gonna keep doing it. We're gonna go through all the creation all the way up until the flood, and then I'm gonna stop, and then we'll move on to something else. Dr. Klaus Schwab says, "Stop fighting with AFR. We're not fighting. We're destroying them. Okay, we're canceling AFR. Well, actually, tomorrow we're celebrating AFR. We're celebrating, and." We're not exposing anything, I promise. We haven't done any real journalism, and we don't have bombshells coming out on tomorrow night's show. But if we did have bombshells dropping tomorrow, verified journalists of highest journalistic integrity, we would be celebrating that tomorrow. Okay, we're not, you know, we're celebrating it. We love ancient faith. We love the Skittles community. We love women. And we love abortion.
Oh, no, don't say that.
And Black Lives Matter. Yeah. We're going to march with Archbishop Elpidiforios. Yeah. We're going to put our fists in the air. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Oh, boy.
We're going to unite with the Catholics, bro.
He fell out of favor because he did something with the Turks, didn't he? With the normies. The normies don't like him anymore because he did something with the Turks, Mr. LP, right?
Dawn says this just became the curse stream. Well, I hope you can pick up on the sarcasm, okay? Because tomorrow is going to be pretty much an entirely sarcastic episode. Hopefully I can stay in character. And we will be taking calls at some point tomorrow. We will be taking calls. So, but don't break us out of character on the calls tomorrow, okay? So, yeah, the sarcasm is broken. But hey, if you don't like cringe, don't watch tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna just be straight cringe. I'll be cringing tomorrow while doing this. But I figure it's the only way not to get taken down. Because yeah, hopefully tomorrow no one else is streaming. I don't know. I don't really care.
They say the secret of being base is realizing you're a cringe all along. So.
Well, tomorrow, you know, I decided to take the comedic route, the ironic route, because it lowers my chances of getting a warning or a strike from YouTube.
Humor.
So,
have you ever tried that on this channel, Michael? Is that new territory for you?
Humor? We've done it before a while ago. Actually, it's not on YouTube, but it's on the old podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened on the podcast, but we did an episode called Venerable Modern Catholic Hymns, which is funny.
That's a sinker, and my description of it is funny.
It is funny because we were celebrating modern Catholic hymns and comparing them to those vile ancient chants and celebrating the more contemporary style, like "I'll lift you up on eagle's wings."
So that's how they sing in the churches now in Roman Catholic churches?
Oh, yeah, that's a huge hymn.
Oh, man. Oof.
Come on, why are you not watching tomorrow night, David Markham? Come on, bro. It's going to be great. You'll at least watch the playback. I know you won't resist. You won't be able to resist. AFR, what are they going to report us for?
Cyberbullying.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna accuse you of cyberbullying. I mean, look, I think it's fine to dance on the graves of your enemies. It's very good that you guys are doing this initiative. Father Deacon Dr. Adonais did a smart job of being like, wait, we're Orthodox. We make content, you know. And
Shane Moyer says I got the voice of an angel. I thank you, Shane. Thank you, bro. My fellow West Virginian. Why don't you send a super chat while you're here, Shane, bro?
Throw a coin into the cup, please. Please,
send a super chat.
I have to make ends meet.
Make yourself useful. Yeah.
Oh well, Mike. I gotta get back to work, and so take a look at the stuff that I sent you, and we'll talk on ideas. Sound good?
All right, sounds good. Does anybody else want to call in tonight? Otherwise, I'm gonna bounce. We only got like a few more minutes. We've already been streaming an hour and 26 minutes, so we'll give it another 5. Nobody else calls in. Hey, Maximus Wolf, why don't you call in, bro? You don't have to have the camera on, by the way. But hey, it was good to see you a couple of weeks ago at HC at Holy Cross. Good to see you. Hopefully I'm not revealing too much information here. But hey, it was good to see you. Anyways, I don't think anybody else is calling in. That's all I got. Don't forget to visit https://store.fashionmonks.com. Get your coffee, get your soap, support Abbot Trifon. Abbot Trifon is relying on us to keep him in business now because the locals, he got some negative press for not being vaccinated. Good evening, Nero Wolf. Good to have you. But yeah, everybody, please support Abbot Trifon's monastery by purchasing some coffee. And no, do not cancel your subscriptions to Ancient Faith Radio if you have them. Which, by the way, I was very pleased to see that somebody joined my chat earlier, had just canceled their subscription to Ancient Faith Radio and just discovered the Orthosphere on YouTube. So that was cool. Yes, Frantics, the locals are now angry at Abbot Trifon because he's not vaccinated. So they don't want to do it. And yeah, David Markham says, everybody super chat now. He doesn't want to be the only one. Also, shout out to Brandon Diebert, who was the #1 contributor last month. I'm going to start throwing the shout outs for that. But Brandon Diebert was #1 contributor. So congratulations, Brandon, on being the biggest contributor to the show. Let's freaking go. After Klaus Schwab says, why did they only now get mad about it? Well, it was because some local journo did a hit piece recently. Totally separate from the Ancient Faith issue. So, but it was all kind of happening at the same time for Abbot Trifon. So it's like a whirlwind. What's that, Lou? A priest associated with AFR, I guess you mean, died in church suddenly. Well, we're not going to speculate that it had anything to do with, yeah. I don't know. There are some good priests still associated with Ancient Faith Radio, but they're probably on their way out. Oh, hey. Let's actually pray for, if you know his name, we should be praying for, let's not celebrate this. We should be praying for his repose. So yeah. Who knows? Maybe it was the vaccine. I don't know. Let's pray for him. Let's pray for his repose. Let's not taunt Ancient Faith or taunt anybody with their death, especially Orthodox priest. Oh yeah, not saying you are celebrating, and just being clear. Just being clear so that we're not making a spectacle of it. But anyways, follow me on Telegram, t.me/themichaelsisco. Also follow me on Gab at Michael Sisco and on Twitter at Michael Sisco WV. Check me out on those platforms. That way you can stay up to date on when we're streaming and whatnot. So, oh no, Lou, I have no idea if he was vaccinated, but yeah. Dr. Klaus Schwab, the awards show is same time tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. I've kind of figured out it's a good time to stream for me. Helps me avoid conflict with some of the other streamers like David Patrick Harry and whatnot. So seems to be a good time. So I like this time. The 9:30 time slot seems to work out well for me. 8 o'clock, sometimes is okay with a guest. David Markham says, can't do Telegram. He's a boomer. Well, why can't you do Telegram? Telegram, you can do Telegram. We have boomers on Telegram, okay? Okay. Well, Dr. Klaus Schwab, guess you're going to have to go to bed early and wake up. Wake up for it. You're going to have to just go to bed at 7 o'clock and then wake up for the stream. That's how you're going to have to do it. But it's going to be fun. A lot different than tonight, obviously. So, But that's all I have for you. Nobody else. That's all I got. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night as we celebrate the inclusivity of Ancient Faith Radio. We're going to celebrate women and inclusivity. So see you guys tomorrow night.